welcome to my channel. Today we are diving into one of the most important tools in the world of servers, Linux, and cybersecurity. It's SSH. If you have ever wanted to control a remote machine securely from anywhere in the world, this video is for you. By the end, you will know how SSH works, how to connect to a server, and how to set up a passwordless login like a pro. And what is SSH? SSH stands for Secure Shell. It's a protocol that lets you connect to another machine over the network. So connecting securely, everything you typed is encrypted, which means no one can spy on your connection. SSH is used by sysadmin, developers, ethical hackers, and anyone who manages remote machines. So let's get started. How will SSH to the first server? Command is SSH, the user name that you have created on Linux, and the host name or the IP address, right? So I will use the IP address. I know my user is sysadm at the IP address of my host. Then if you change or you customize the port, you need to type -p and the port number. Okay, so my port by default is 22. If you kept the default port, so you don't need to mention -p 22. By default, the same port. The system will ask you for the password. Here we are. So I am connected to the first remote. Let's do the same thing for the second machine. Page. I have a username called sysadm, and the IP address of that Linux machine is 207. The same thing if the port has been changed, just type -p and the custom port. Here we are. So in the first panel here, we have host name Zorin1, and the second one we have Zorin2. So this is the command to connect to your remote. It's SSH and username, then and you type the host name or qualified name for your domain, -p and the ports, right? So now let's, for example, we want to run a remote command on that server. For example, I want to run ls on the remote server. So it's the same. SSH, username, the host name, the port. Don't forget the port if you customize it. And between quotation here, type the command. System will ask you for the password. Oh yeah, as you can see, so it listed on my terminal here all the content of the tab. I am on Windows, but running this command lists the data from the remote on your terminal. See, can type, for example, user bin as well. So every time you want to run a command, the system will ask you for a password. Okay, imagine I am connected to this machine here, This is my first host, and I want to connect with the same user to the second host, this one here. To check that, let me switch to the root. Let me just type this. So I will try to connect from this machine to this one here. It's the same default port and the same user, because on this machine, the second machine, I have the same user sysadm as well. If you don't type the username, the system will take the default username you are connected with. So this is Unix machine connecting to this machine. Because this is the first time, the system will ask you to accept yes, and then type the password or the username on the remote machine. We are. And as can you see here, the system accepted or from this host and accepted the password. I am connected. So the question now, how can we avoid typing the password every time we want to connect the machine? For example, from here, as I said, from here, I want to just type SSH and log in. I mean, passwordless. I wanted to avoid or bypass the password. There is a way. So we're going to create a certificate on the first machine here, and then copy the public key on the second machine, right? So let's do that. So to generate a certificate, there is many ways. Well, there is many certificates. SSH dash gen sorry, the let me just type here. Can we? No. Dash help. Yeah, I want to show you. You scroll up here. This is the type of certificate we can create. The default one is DSA, and the new one and recommended is we're going to create the AD 25519. All right, this one have modern keys and it has also better security, and it's a smaller key. Let's create this one. To create a certificate, it's the command ssh-keygen. The same thing in Windows or on Linux is the same command. Type ed 25519. Just press enter, and you can confirm this key will be created in this location. In the home folder of this user, there is a hidden folder .ssh. The certificate will be id underscore this id. Press enter. You can put a password or leave it empty. So let's go to that folder and check what has been created. As you can see, there is a private key and a public. This is this public key that we need to copy in this machine. Okay, so let's check first what's the ID. So cat ID underscore dot public. It's small, so we're gonna copy this in the second server. Let's do that. So to copy the certificate, there is two ways. You can copy that with the command ssh.copy. This will copy the ID certificate. Well, you need to be in that folder. Let me check the content on it. Right. So it's ssh copy the ID dash I, and you can type this ID underscore public key where you want to copy that. So the host name, it's well, this ADM, this admin at. When I copy that on this machine here, right? It's you can type the host name or the IP address, and the system will ask you again for the password. This is the last time. Type the password. Oops. Let me just type it. Right password. Something. Yeah, it's not the password. It's the username. There is a typo here. Missing the A. It's sysadmin, not sysdmin. So let me repeat that. It's the user should exist in the remote, or you can use the root to copy. Then we copy it on folder for that user. So the command is ssh the hyphen copy hyphen id hyphen I your public certificate to copy. Don't send the private, just the public one. Where you want to send it? This host in this user home folder. Let's do that. Type the password. Voila. So let's now go and check the certificate copied. So let me so .ssh. One file has been created, authorized underscore keys. Let's check the content of that file. As you can see, this is my public certificate copied from the first host in the second host. Let's check the certificate here, and it's id dot cat. It's the same as you can see. Now let me SSH from here to this host. Now let's type SSH this admin, then type the IP address of the second host dash p the port if you custom port or just okay. Here we are. So I am connected to the second host without password. I am using this key. This public key is created on the second host. Now you can connect. So let me run, for example, a command. Run to the command. Yeah, for example, can we cat? What's that? It's home. This admin, and we want to let's just list, for example. Then we can cat. Let me just and dot ssh between quotation double quote. Okay, let's check if the system will ask for the password. No password because we have created authorized key in the second. Now can we copy, visualize, or edit that file from here? Let's check. I want to cut. Yes, I can cut remotely without. So let's wrap up here. So what we did the first time, we did the SSH without with the password. The system will ask the password for every time you want to SSH to the remote machine. To avoid or to bypass the password, we use the command. We generated a key. So with the command ssh dash keygen. So we use this command. As I said, there is many types. The type we use it is the AD 25519. After that, we use the ssh-copy command. We copied the the public key from the host one to the second one to the for example the second host, right? Now, if this command, for example, ssh-copy is not available on your machine, sometimes you are connecting from Windows and this ssh-copy doesn't exist. What we can do in this case, what you need is to do that manually. You copy this one from your first host to the temp, for example. Let's copy that. S-copy, let's check the, right? This is the file I want to so copy this file where I want to copy that to using the root or using any user exists on the remote in where you want to copy that. I want to copy that temp in temp here, right? The system will ask you for the password because we already set up the created the key on the second host. That's why. So let's go on the second machine and check what we copied there. And we can see in the second host or the remote host, we have the key. What you need to do now, so there is some step to do. You need to copy that in the .ssh folder, but where? So you need to go here, you need to go to create first, create because maybe that .ssh doesn't exist. You need to create that folder, all right? Well, you need to create mkdir-p create this folder, all right, in your home folder. Once we create that, just change directory to that folder. And well, before that, you need to chmod, you need to change mode the folder to this 700. Let me check that for you guys. Oops. Yeah, you see the folder created by the system, it's 700. So you need, if you're doing it manually, after you create it with mkdir, so we need to chmod that -77. All right. Once you do that, you go inside, then you need to cut from temp the ID or the public key you create, you copy it from your main host. You copy that in, or you copy it or add it if the file exists. If the authorized underscore keys exist, you need to add that at the end, or not like this at the end. You need add the first file, this key, and add it at the end. If it doesn't exist, you just with you direct the output in the queue, the system will create this file. Once the file is created, also we need to chmod that, we need to change mode to 600, that file. So we protect it. We protected the folder with 700. Only the owner can access that. And also we need to protect the file to 600. So let's check. It's already done, so automatic because we did a copy. Here we are. The file should be chmod with, otherwise you're gonna have a problem. You cannot connect permission. Yeah, that's it. This is the manual way. It's long, but yes, you do it once the ssh-copy command doesn't exist. You do this manually. You copy the file and you go to the destination. You create the folder. You change mode to 700. You cut the public key to the authorized keys. Then you change mode to these keys to 600. Read and write only by the owner. All right. This is the tutorial, small tutorial for SSH. If you need more help, let me know that in the comments. Thank you very much. See you in next video.